Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Bamboo Lab Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Brian Bosley, and for the better part of the past 26 years, I've had the most distinct pleasure and honor of coaching some of the world's most amazing peak performers. And what we do here each week is we bring their ideas and strategies and their wisdom directly to you. If you feel sometimes you're that hamster and you're spinning on that hamster wheel of life, but you're just not really going anywhere, man, this place is for you. This is your podcast. The Bamboo Lab Podcast was written, created, and broadcast just for you, all you strivers, thrivers, and survivors out there. You know, I was just thinking back. We've had 19 amazing guests so far in the 43 episodes of the podcast. And I'm looking back through my notes and going back through these old podcasts, and I am just mesmerized and astonished by the wisdom that they have shared with us, with the Bamboo Pack. And I have to share with all of you, we've got some amazing guests lined up over the next few months. Just some amazing people with so much wisdom. Your intellectual and emotional toolboxes are going to be filled to the brim. Little update on our statistics. As of this morning, we are now being followed, subscribed to, and listened avidly on 6 continents in 31 cities or 31 countries, on 47 states, and in 664 cities across this great nation of ours. All right, this episode is dedicated to Dennis. We all go through losses and tragedies, trials and tribulations through life. Some more than others. Some go through them scattered throughout the course of their lives, and some go through them in just a short time frame. We get hit, we get punched, we get knocked down. So many people succumb to this through cynicism, skepticism, anger. Not Dennis. Dennis has gone through more pain and loss over the past few years than any man I've met. And yet, each week when we talk on the phone, his positivity, his strength, his courage, his grit shine through the phone lines, into my ears and into my hearts. The positivity he brings into this world, and selfishly he brings into me, makes me happy. Makes me proud to know that there are men out there like Dennis. My friend, I love you. I'm so proud to call you a friend, and this show is dedicated directly to you. Let us dissect. All right. We've got 100 and some days left in 2022. How are you going to finish this year? How you finish 2022 will determine how you live 2023. So I'm going to challenge you. Bamboo Pack members, I'm going to challenge you to put on your laser glasses, put on that gritty face, square up your shoulders, end the final portion of this year on the highest note of your life. 90-day push. I'm going to challenge you to set up a 90-day push. Now, I know there are more than 90 days left in this year, so you might want to start this tomorrow and do a 120-day push, or next week and do a 110-day push. I don't care. Just do what you can to finish this year so that on December 31st of 2022, there is a portion, an element of your life where you are standing at the precipice of your life in that element. So here we go. Get a piece of paper and a pen and write down 1 to 2 things that if you accomplish them between now and the end of this year will have the greatest impact on your life. Will put you in a position of higher achievement in 2023. Will increase your ability in some element and some attribute of your life that you can carry forward into next year. This is not a goal. These are what we call expected results. What expected results can you establish for 2022, the next 90 to 120 days, that when you hit those expected results, your life transforms? Write them down. 1 to 2 things. It can be anything. It can be, I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to be able to run a 5K. I want to have an incredibly healthy amazing communicative life with my spouse. I want to get that promotion. I want to finish that project. I want to start that book. I want to start a side hustle. Anything. Make it specific. Make it something you can measure. Not, I'd like to be happier by the end of the year. You can't measure that. You can measure the other things. You can tell yourself, yes, I want to have a relationship with my spouse, and by the end of this year, where we are talking nightly, where we hug each other when we say goodnight, that we have intimate relations and moments, where we go on a date night once a week, or we're spending quality time each week together. You can measure weight loss. You can measure promotions. You can measure raises. You can measure the finishing of a project. 1 to 2 things. Stretch yourself. Don't put something that you are already probably going to accomplish. Make it grander. Put a little sex appeal to it. A little style, a little push. Hence the name 90-Day Push. That's the first step. But quite often, that's where we stop when we put some type of quote-unquote goal, or as we call them, expected results. We tend to stop there, file it in the file cabinet, put it in a drawer, put it in a book, shut the journal, and we call it good. Writing down your expected results is the first challenge. It's the first of 4 steps. The second step is now to write down what changes must you make. What changes do you have to make in your life and your activities and your thoughts, behaviors, feelings, habits, actions do you have to take and make in order for those expected results to become a reality? If you don't have anything to change, then you would already have achieved those results, or you would be on pace to achieve those results. What do you have to change? And we can break that part of that change element down to 4 other steps. Number 1, think of the things that you have to start doing that you're currently not doing. What are the things you have to start doing to hit those expected results that you're currently not doing? Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's hugging your spouse when he or she comes home from work. Maybe it's writing chapter 1 of your book. Things you have to start doing. Number 2, what things do you have to stop doing? You are currently doing things that are hindering you, distracting you, derailing you, disturbing you, keeping you from hitting those expected results. What things do you have to stop? Maybe it's I have to stop keeping the door open all day long in my office so that I can avoid those distractions so I can finish that project. Maybe it's I have to stop judging my spouse every time he or she says something that I don't agree with. Maybe it's I have to stop eating 3 hours before bedtime, as Dr. Ben Gillis said in episode 42. Write those things down, whatever they are. And part 3 is what are the things that you're currently doing that's working, that you want to continue doing? What are those things that you're doing right now that seems to be working for you, that you want to continue to pull forward into these last 90 days of the year? So often when we start doing some new and have some grandiose thoughts and ideas and plans, we tend to stop doing the foundational things that got us to where we are today. Don't forget the things that got you here. Dance with the one who brought you to the dance. And number 4, the 4th element of things we have to change is what are the things you simply have to accept? There are things in your head right now that are distracting you, things that are bothering you. Accept them. Put them on the back burner and turn the burner down to simmer. Maybe next year you'll deal with them. For right now, there's nothing you can do. You just have to accept it. Maybe it's a hostile fellow employee at work. Maybe you have an asshole boss. Maybe you're fighting with your neighbor. Maybe you have challenges in your family that for right now you just have to accept and work on those when you can. So you have this 90-day push. You have to, number 1, you have to set your expectations. What are the expected results you have? Number 2, what changes do you have to make? What things must you start, stop, continue, and accept? Number 3, or what are the challenges you're going to face? By God, you're going to face some challenges. Anybody who gets up and rises and runs in life, who strives and thrives, you run into challenges. You're going to run into more damn brick walls, as Randy Pausch said, in his last lecture, you're going to run into brick walls because you're moving, you're growing, you're changing yourself, you're challenging yourself, and you're challenging the world. Write those things down. Write those challenges you might face. Some are going to be internal: procrastination, insecurity, poor time management, fear of success. Some things are going to be external: hostile work environment, economy, political issues, family issues. Write every possible challenge you might face. Because when you do that, you pull those challenges out and you put them on paper. You see them, you intellectualize them. So therefore, the opportunity, when you reach those challenges, which you will reach most of those, when you hit those, you're going to be prepared for them because you knew they were coming. If we're going for a hike in the woods tomorrow, you and I, and we know between mile 1 and mile 5, there are 27 bear traps along the trail. By God, I want to know where those bear traps are. You want to know where those bear traps are. That's all we're doing is we're putting down the bear traps on paper so we know where they are and we can identify them. Randy Pausch, in his book, in his YouTube video, The Last Lecture, tells his sons, as he's a dying man, dying of pancreatic cancer, he tells his sons, there are going to be brick walls in this world. And those brick walls are not designed for us to walk away. They are designed for us to show ourselves in the world how badly we want something. Those brick walls are not there to stop us. They're there to stop the other people. List your brick walls. And step 4 of the process, list the champions. List the people in your corner. List the resources you must go to so that when you do step into a trap or you're in a slump and you're stale and you can't get that next rhythm or you need information, you have people and resources to go to. List them down so that when that does happen, because it's going to happen over the next 90 days, that you don't miss a beat. You might need people in your corner for motivation, for inspiration, someone to push you. You might need resources, websites, books, literature, places you can go to get information you need. List those down. Your 90-day push is nothing more than you listing out 1 to 2 expected results. 1 to 2 expected results so that when you hit those results before December 31st of this year, that has a dramatic impact on your life. So that you start 2023 at the highest note of any New Year's you've ever lived. From there, you put down the changes you have to make. Then you put the challenges you might face. Then you put the champions you have to have in your resources. It's that simple. But I'll tell you what, it sure in the hell isn't easy. You think about what we're designed for. What are you striving for today? You're striving to be happy. Happiness is the precipice of the human condition. It is. And I'll tell you what, these people who don't produce, who stay at home and watch TV, watch CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all these news channels, they're not happy people. They're not producing. They're not creating. We're designed to produce. The brain and the body of the human being is never meant, nor was it ever designed to be idle. Idleness is the birthplace of depression and unhappiness. What we're saying here is get up. I don't care if you're already running, run faster. These next 90 days can determine the rest of your life. If our true nature, our true expectation or goal or the element we're most thriving for in life is true happiness, we have to ask ourselves, what is happiness? What makes up happiness? Well, I can tell you. Happiness is a pie chart. And that pie chart is broken into 3 areas. So picture a circle in your head right now. Cut that circle right down the middle. Because 50% of your happiness you have no control over. It's in your DNA. It's genetic. It's inherited. From your mom and dad and from your grandmas and grandpas. Some of you had the luck of the draw, man. You won the lottery. You got some great happiness genes poured into you. Others, not so much. But if you haven't, if you feel, gosh, I don't think my family's really a happy group of people, don't be despaired. We're going to cure that. We're going to address that. So half of your happiness in life is determined by completely out of your control. You have no control, nor do you have any influence over it. It's in your DNA. 10% of your happiness is determined by all of the things you have probably thought about today already. How much money you have, the house you live in, the car you drive in, your current health, your popularity, how good looking you are, your age, your social status. All those things that we worry about all day long, and they're important things, especially the health one and the wealth one. They're incredibly crucial. But if all of those things were perfect in your life, they still only add up to 10% of your happiness. And that leaves 40%. And the beauty of the problem with that 10% is you have influence over it. Other than your age, you have influence over your health. You have influence over your wealth, where you live, what you drive, how popular you are, how good looking you are. But you don't have control. In one brief moment, all of those things can be stripped away from you. But we have 40% left. There is 40% left on that pie chart, and that's the part of the pie chart where we must be maniacally focused. That's the part of the pie chart, that 40% of our health, of our happiness, that we have complete control over. And that 40% is called intentional activities. It's the things we focus on each day to help ourselves become a better version of ourselves, a better version tomorrow than the person we were today, a better person today better person today than the person we were yesterday. When you have and set intentional activities in your life, when you set expected results, and you put down things that you have to changes you have to make physically, emotionally, intellectually, financially, spiritually, actions, habits, thoughts that you have to change in order for you to get to that next level, that's an intentional activity. When you list the challenges that you are going to face in your new endeavor in this final push for 2022, when you list those and identify those, that's an intentional activity. When you list out the resources, the people, the resources, that those champions that you have to have in your corner when you need them during this next 90 days, that's an intentional activity. And every day when you get up in the morning and you sit down and you start working on those changes, you start implementing those actions, those action plans, those steps, those new habits. When you get out there and run each day, exercise, read, work on that project, work on that book, spend more quality time with your spouse and loved ones. When you do those intentional things every single day and get better at them, your happiness begins to increase dramatically. You know, when you first think about it, when you only have control over 40% of your happiness, it can sound a little depressing, a little disparaging. But when you really break it down, man, if I asked you today, if I today told you, hey, you are 40% healthier than you were yesterday, you are 40% better looking, you are 40% wealthier, your house is 40% more beautiful, your car has 40% more cool stuff on it, you're getting a 40% raise today, you're 40% more popular, you would go apeshit. That's a big jump. You have control over 40% of your happiness. And you have that, and you increase that by doing the things like a 90-day push. Dr. Ben Gillis from Gillis Family Chiropractic earlier this week in episode 42 talked about paying the price. And I loved how he said it. He said, we can pay the price today by implementing small, consistent changes and improvements in our health, or we can pay the price later. Really what he was talking about was choosing your pain. And as you Bamboo Pack listeners have heard me say multiple times, we only have two choices of pain. We spend our lives running from pain. We live in this fear of pain, of discomfort and physical, emotional, financial, spiritual pain. And when we do that, we are simply avoiding the inevitable. You don't get to choose whether or not you feel pain or experience pain. You only get to choose the type. And there are only two types. The pain of grind, hard work, sweat, blood, tears, effort, change right now, or the pain of regret later. And I can almost guarantee you, if you implement this 90-day push, I will guarantee you, if you start now on December 31st, and you've done the 4 steps and you follow your action plan every week, you build a spreadsheet, you track your progress, you track your activities every week by December 31st, I'll guarantee 2 things. Number 1, you're going to feel pain right now. You're going to feel pain of physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, intellectual pain, maybe financial pain. I don't know. You're going to feel some type of pain right now because all change and growth starts with pain. It's step 1. It's pain 101, or it's change 101 is pain. Change 101, first chapter, page 1 is you're going to feel pain. But that pain is a growth pain. It's a positive pain, and it dissipates over time. I'll guarantee you'll face pain. I'll make another guarantee. If you choose to turn this podcast off at the end and say, hey, that was a good podcast, cool, and go on with your day, go on with your week, and go on with your next 90 days with no change, you will feel the pain of regret come December 31st. When the other Bamboo Pack members are out there celebrating the precipice of their life, you're going to feel some type of regret. And that one lasts eternally. That one's a bitch. It sticks with you. And we've all, myself included, I have chosen the pain of hard work and grind, and I have felt that pain of right now feeling tired and scared and insecure and feeling unworthy while I'm trying to change and grow. But then I have felt this beautiful, beautiful precipice in my life in areas. Also, I have chosen the pain of, I'll get to it later. And I have inevitably faced and felt the pain of regret later. I hate that one.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Get the latest insights from top mortgage pros on Mortgage Connects, a podcast by MGIC. We interview thought leaders from across the industry to share their wide-ranging expertise and candid views on critical market developments and current housing trends. Our guests reveal highly effective marketing and referral strategies, training tips and best practices, and what you can expect from the mortgage market in the future. Hear from experts like best-selling author Todd Duncan, U.S. Bank's Lenny McNeil, and Freddie Mac's Danny Gardner. Listen to Mortgage Connects on your favorite app or at mortgageconnects.com today.
Remember back in one of the previous episodes in the spring, I shared a topic, and I think this is worthy of going back and listening to one more time. This episode got a lot of downloads, a lot of great feedback from the listeners, and that was when we were still fairly new at this podcasting journey. Well, we're still fairly new at it, but we were much newer at it. It was the episode on What's Your Butter? And the story goes as this. Kelly and I were in Park City, Utah, in I believe it was February of this year, 2022. And we stayed at the Stein Eriksen Lodge, and we were having dinner there at the base of the mountain. The sun was setting. It was beautiful, perfect setup. We were sitting and drinking a gin and tonic. We were waiting for our food. We were extremely hungry. The server was amazingly professional and knowledgeable. The server assistant was amazingly knowledgeable and professional. It was just a great environment. And then they came and dropped the bread and butter off at our table. We don't eat bread. Not very well. Not very often. But we were hungry, so we said, let's dig in, man. We dug in, spread that butter on the bread, took a bite and looked at each other like, what the hell was that? This butter, Pack members, was the most amazing butter I have ever tasted in my life. Not sure if it was quality, texture, the seasoning, ingredients. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the fact that we were extremely hungry. But it was divine, man. It was amazing. And it got me to thinking over the next few days. Because I kept thinking about the butter. This place was amazing. I mean, beautiful setup, beautiful, incredible, beautiful chalet we stayed in on the base of the mountain. We got to hike and snowshoe and snowmobile and have a spa day, all these amazing adventures and experiences, meeting great people. But the thing that kept coming back was the butter at the Stein Eriksen Lodge restaurant. And it made me think, what is my butter? What is that one element about me that I contribute to the world that is so much better than just about anybody, if not everybody else in the world? What is your butter? What is it about you that makes you completely unique? What is it that you do differently, better, more uniquely than anyone you know, and maybe better than anyone in the entire world? Perhaps you went through a lot of challenges in your life in the younger years, and now you have the ability to empathize and feel emotions from other people when you're around them. Maybe you have the ability to inspire other people, to engage them. Maybe you're an incredibly fast runner. Maybe you're the best damn mechanic in the shop. Maybe you make your clients, even though you don't know product extremely well and you're not a super analytical person, maybe you make your clients feel like they're the only people in the room. Maybe you are incredibly gifted in the analytical world. Your butter can be just about anything that makes you different. If you can, I'm going to recommend apply your 90-day push to your butter. Because your butter is probably your purpose on this earth, and you're just identifying it. Your butter is a way of how you contribute it to the world, but in that is your purpose in life, something you've been destined to do all of your life. If you can apply your 90-day push to that, by the end of this year, you are going to be steps above in your ability to contribute and to deliver your purpose to the world. And I'll tell you, man, there's nothing more fulfilling in the planet than to be there and to do that. 90-day push. Design it. Track it. Have people support it. Now, here's the other thing. Share it with others. Share it with others. Last Friday, I had the privilege and honor of being in our what we call a junto, Junto. A junto. It was our first one ever with two gentlemen, John and Dave, amazing, successful, driven men. And we're based in different parts of the country. And we did our first junto last Friday at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. For 1 hour, the three of us got on the phone through Zoom and we talked. Now, junto comes from an idea or a strategy that Ben Franklin began in the 1700s, where he and these incredible thought leaders would get together at a pub and drink beer and talk politics, philosophy, religion, all these amazing concepts. We just stole the name. And we have a fourth gentleman joining us here when the time is right for him, another hard-driven, successful, amazing man. And the idea for our junto is we are going to share with each other our 90-day pushes. We're going to do this once a month, but we're going to set a 90-day push every 90 days. I want you to do the same thing. You don't have to call it a junto. You don't have to set up a formal Zoom, but I want you to find some people in your life, 3, 5, 10 people, who you can share with them. Here is my 90-day push. Here are the things, the changes I have to make in order for me to get there. Here are the challenges I might run into. And here are the champions, the people and resources, you being one of them, that I have in my corner. And with that group of people, the idea is you communicate with them on a weekly basis for the next 90 days, where you are in your progress, what challenges you're facing. Talk about the activities and the changes you're making in your life. Give them the statistics of where you are. Because the idea is you want to have a group of people, a junto in this case, call it what you want, a group of people, 3 to 10, whatever you want. Hell, if you can only find one person, do one person. But that person and those people have to do 3 things for you. They have to celebrate your successes along the way and at the end. They have to support you when you need to, because you're going to fall down. You're going to have rough days. But they have to, more than importantly, they have to challenge the hell out of you. When you fall down, they have to say, get off your ass and move forward. They have to tell you that you have a desire, you have an expected result that's not only expected by you, but now by me as well. That's what a good teammate is, a good junto. Is somebody or a group of people who celebrate with you, support you, and challenge the hell out of you. And if you really want to take it to the next level, get all of those people to have their own 90-day push. Have them to list their changes, their challenges, and their champions. And you do this celebrate, support, and challenge each other together. That's where the real power is, because now you build critical mass. Because there is nothing more powerful than peer-to-peer accountability. Summer's over. Summer's a time where so many people, especially in the northern climates, I know here in Michigan, people tend to take it a little easier at work. We spend more time with family, with travel. We do more outdoor activities because we have the ability, because the sun is out. There's no snow on the ground. But really across the country, that's not uncommon for people to have a little lower key summer. But the holidays are coming too. We've got holidays. We've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and even a little one called Halloween sprinkled in there. Now, not everyone on the Bamboo Lab or the Bamboo Lab podcast, not all you PAC members celebrate those holidays, but I'll guarantee people around you do. So sometimes it makes it difficult for us to get things done. And that's why this 90-day push is so important, because it gives you that maniacal, obsessive focus on 1 to 2 expected results that will change your life dramatically once you accomplish them, and you are celebrating on December 31st, 2022, and you are designed to ride a rocket in 2023. 90-day push. 1 to 2. What changes do you have to make? What challenges might you face? And who are the champions you need to have in your corner? We're signing off for today, Bamboo PAC members. Once again, I appreciate you all so very much as we're growing rapidly here at the Bamboo Lab podcast. I really do appreciate you and your followership and your sharing. Please hit that like button, subscribe. Please rate us, and write a review if you can. And please, by all means, share this through text, email, or however you can with 3 other individuals. We have some amazing guests coming up over the next few months, and I would hate for anyone out there to miss the wisdom and insight and lessons they're going to share. Until next time, please get out there and sculpt your life. Sculpt your life to the point where you each day are living closer and closer to that true peak identity that you so much deserve and you are destined to live. I appreciate you. Have a great week.